Good morning. Clearly, the left shot is not my living room, dining room, or sitting area. Oh God, who invited you?
Is it too loud?
No, it was loud when you only had the camera pointed on the object making the noise.
Too
How
loud
are
still?
you?
Let me just finish something. I'm sorry. How do I
Then
put
mute
myself?
yourself for the moment, please.
Good morning, everyone. You look beautiful.
I'm glad you chose the worst picture of me for the screenshot.
Well,
Thank you
that was
so
on
much.
purpose. All right,
Thank
I'm
you.
good. Someone broke my truck. I have to finish it.
Check your food later. Good morning, everyone. As you can see, we're double dutying here at Pate's Performance. The Mister is going to be back on in just a jiffy. I love when I let him choose our morning screenshots. That had to be probably the screenshot that I allowed him to choose, or he took candidly during the last storm, which apparently I will never allow him to do ever again. I hope everyone is doing well this morning. That rosy glow. Yes, Ken, that rosy glow was the missus probably about 6 hours into the last removal. That is makeup free. So if any of you were looking to let your wives go makeup free, just put them on 6 hours of snow removal in the middle of the night. That'll do it. So good morning. I want to jump in and I want to wish everyone a good morning. We've got an interesting program scheduled for you. The Mister is clearly going to be tuning in a special way today. And I have some special things planned for you today as well. So it's going to be a good one. Remember, if you're hopping on in, I know for sure today.
No giveaways.
Just focus so you can hop on. What am I paying him for? Just remember, if you're new here, and I know for a fact today, I have a few new friends that are going to be joining us. A few friends that might be a little bit too shy to be chatting, but a few friends new to the channel that have subscribed. So don't forget, I'm going to give you the usual. If you're hopping on in, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And make sure that you click that notification button as well. There's always that one lost little soul that feels the need to give a thumbs down, but I think it's pretty cool. Before the summertime, YouTube's going to be letting us know who those lost souls are. So that was officially announced. So we can maybe help those lost souls to figure out what it is that they don't love, and especially alive, right? Like, why are you tuning in then, right? So any hoodle. Let's get saying hello, and then we'll share how the week has been, because it's clearly been boop, boop, boop. It's been one of these. It's been a really good one, but we have really been cranking for sure. And I know a lot of you have been cranking for sure, which has been awesome. Mr. Fun Things to Do at Tech Sparky, good morning from the UK. And I am loving the fact that Mr. Tech Sparky, make sure that you're also subscribed to his channel. He is doing big things over there. If you're into new tunes, check him out. Rusty Rooster, good morning. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Ken from Ken's Small Engine Repair. Looking at the photos, it appears an electric starter was added to the Tecumseh Snow King engine during the storms. I'm going to let the Mister talk about that. Ken, I'm going to be able to talk to you a little bit about, the 6 trips back and forth for belts. Because our last episode we talked about, or maybe it was one of your lives, I know Scott Keller had talked about making sure the air filter was out of the Hemi. All snowblowers should have the air filter out of the Hemi. The Mister had some thoughts on that, but the Hemi definitely had the air filter out. We literally, the day before this last storm that we just had this past week, the Mister was playing around with new belt sizes, hence Mrs. Pate's Performance 6 trips to a new store. I am great new friends with Timmy, Nikki, and Paul at the new parts store. We are like besties now. And I have to tell you that we started talking a pulley system. And Jose at Village Power might be checking me out today. We are now new besties because we were talking pulley systems. So at the end of the day, we'll get into all those goodies with the Hemi swap. And yeah, it was a grand old time before the last storm, which did not produce as much as the storm before, but we were still cranking with removal. Gotta love people who don't want to shovel. Love it. Moving on. So yes, Ken, I'll let him talk more about that. Mrs. Pate's Performance is also doing an experiment with shear pins. Good old 1128 Arian shear pins versus ones from China. And so at the end of the day, we've got some great things planned. My buddy Jose from Village Repair has some theories on Arian shear pins versus the ones from China. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And for all those celebrating, Happy Lunar New Year. It's the year of the ox. I hope this year brings health, prosperity, and all wonderful things to those who this is your new year. Moving on along, Henry, I am shocked. I thought you were not here. You were not first here, but you were always first in my heart. Henry, I hope all is well and all is good by you. Moving right along. Ken, here's the thing, and I'm going to give a little spoiler alert right now, and I will tell you this. Ken, as I told the mister, everybody take out your notepad. Are you ready? This is like when Mrs. Pate gives a staff lecture. This is free. I'm not going to charge you for any of this. Be prepared. There is one smaller storm that's going to replicate much of what we had here on the island last week. Approximately 4 to 6 inches, potentially coming our way towards latter this week. Ken, it's most likely going to be hitting your way as well. We're looking at about Thursday, Friday. End of February, we are still on trajectory to get hammered with one last storm. That one's looking for much of all the same elements that we had with that storm back. So accumulation, gusty winds. They're saying 10 times worse than what we had before. So that's going to be more along the lines of that blizzard storm that I kept talking about that was supposed to hit beginning of this month. And then it really trailed off now to towards the end of the month. But what the Farmer's Almanac is starting to call for is that we will start trailing off with like just dustings mid-March, an inch here, an inch there. So you'll see your repairs coming in because people will still get a little nervous toward the end of February after this next big blizzard. And then they'll still want to have things shaped up for the end of the season. But here's what I'm going to tell you. And you can take this advice or not, but they're calling for the winter of 2021, 2022 to replicate much of what we had for this year. And then, hear me out, they're calling for what they call the snow drought. They're calling for 2022, 23, and possibly an extended time after to replicate what we went through the last few years. So if you are looking to stock up on snow blowers, after this next big storm, come March to next winter, whenever your winter season starts, summertime, spring, rack up the machines, guys. Find a way to store them. Stroke the missus. If she doesn't want a little collection going on in the yard, you know, throw the missus a bouquet of flowers every now and then. Cook her dinner once in a while. If she wants to see dollar signs for next winter, you need to figure out a way to stock up for the next season, because I have a feeling, looking at the Farmer's Almanac trajectory, next winter may be it for a bit of time, at least here for like our Ken Small Engine, our Bill Martinis, our Nicks, our Henry's Mowers and Blowers, here Pate's Performance. And you know what? The last 3 years have have hurt quite a bit. So take my advice or not. I think I led you in the right direction this year, did I not? So at the end of the day, do what you want with it. But at the end of the day, hey, I know we're going to be prepared for 2021, 22, 23 winter. So moving right along, that is the latest that I was able to get. I am on a delivery system of like where they give you like the new almanac for the following year hasn't come out, but they give you what they call for the current members of the last 5 years, get like a teaser. That is the most current. So Ken, it's the cold temps that are actually getting me too a bit. That's been a bit hard. I've got 2 herniated discs in my lower back since my early 20s. I used to work in a group home with adults ages 50 to 75 who had disabilities. And I had a grown man, if you can picture from the Green Mile, about 6'4", almost 300 pounds. At the time, I was this little teeny thing. I was assisting him to the restroom and he fell right on me, and that's how I herniated the discs in my back. And every time we get these cold, bitter days, even when we're out there doing removal, if I just move just the wrong way, I feel it throughout my whole body. Let's see here. Ken, I've got some good video footage of the Mister bringing home the deer. If you saw the community page, or you didn't, if you saw it, you know he's got a John Deere. Now it's not the John Deere that the missus got a few years ago. That we can't disclose which college, university, campus. That John Deere that I acquired was actually through, much of you already know, many campuses will have like auctions. And this was actually one that they forgot to throw into an auction. The one that the Mister acquired has a very different story to it. He acquired this the night before this very last storm. If you didn't see the community page after today's live, definitely check it out. It's a beaut. It really is. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a few things besides the Mister that gets me, my little self going, whew. I personally have a thing for the orange through and through, but there's something about the deer. I literally was upstairs in our house the day he bought it home. The snow was starting to fall. I'm so sorry. It was the morning of. I apologize. And literally, you can spot that green from like a mile away. And I said, oh my God, he scored himself a John Deere. And as much as I love, and I will say here and now, if someone presented me with the orange or the green, I will say green, orange all day long. But there's something about a John Deere I love. And to be honest with you, my love for the John Deere is a tractor. I'm a tractor girl. If Henry Morawski showed up on a John Deere tractor to sweep me away, the Mister might just have to yank me off. But I love a good John Deere. I don't know, call me Americana all the way through, but I just feel like there's something about a John Deere that just screams good old America. But any hoodle, the Mister can tell you more about that. Ken, we can definitely relate. So interesting about snow removal this last time. With our last snowstorm and the big snowstorm before that, our neighbors have started to just snow blow enough to get out of their own driveway. And we live on a busy street. And at the end of the day, Sweet Angel, thank you. At the end of the day, the gentleman who used to own the house that we live in used to come along and with his plow the neighbors in front of their house, because at least they wouldn't have this pile up of snow in front of their house. We live on a busy hospital road, But the way that the town plows the street, it's just enough so that the main street is cleared and they push all the snow to the sides. We clear in front of our house, but we're not clearing in front of every neighbor because they own a snowblower. Clear in front of your own dang house. You know what I'm saying? We take care of the boys next door. Those are his favorite. But we're not taking care of every neighbor after that. So at the end of the day, you have to see the street. It's literally our house is completely cleared, and then every neighbor is just a smidgen to get their little vehicle out, and then a pile up of snow, and then a little smidgen and a pile up of snow. It's just horrendous. People definitely don't know how to be homeowners anymore. There's something about the Mister moving a big truck that just gets me. Whew, he's in for a treat later. But anyway, any hoodle, sorry, so distracted. At the end of the day, this last storm was interesting though. Saying hello, saying hello, saying hello. So, you guys are funny. So the last storm, we had a few people reaching out for the last storm, actually asking us first, and they were local. Are you going to do snow removal? Because the last storm was on Super Bowl here. And first of all, I have to tell you, not to disclose too much, there was an incident. We were supposed to have family over. There was an incident with the Mister that did not make it safe for family to come with his job. So we were not able to have the family over, and we're never going to put them at risk. And so we also knew it was going to be a snow removal night. And here's what I'll tell you. Here, toot your horn, baby. So here's what I'll tell you. The last big storm, we had about 14 and a half inches. It was a great removal. We went through the night. This storm here on the island started at about 7 a.m. and it stopped literally about 5:30 in the evening. So like right before, about an hour before kickoff time. And so that was Sunday. The day before, I had made contact with all of our clients. And I'm not going to lie to you. There were about 3 clients who had said to me, first of all, oh, we're getting snow? I had no clue. We also had a client say, I think I'm going to try to shovel this one myself. No problem. Their particular driveway is large and pricey. So I'm not going to even hop out of the truck without charging a certain price. It's not going to happen. And I know if they get enough snow, they're not going to do it themselves. So here's the thing. This is where I know our worth. I know that if they shoveled themselves for a few inches this time, they're going to call us the next time. We're not losing a client. I know that. And I know their area. No one's coming around with a shovel to shovel them out. So it's a win-win. And I also have a list of about 5 people who want to be on our list, who I keep telling them, I'm really booked, but if you find someone else, God bless. And I'll let you know if we can. I just knew with this storm, my plan was to get out right before kickoff, and we were going to work through the night because 1,000%, I needed to be there for important meetings at work Monday morning, and I needed to work. Now, I know the Mister, he was prepared to do what he needed to do, but I was prepared to pull an all-nighter and then go to work the next day. I had to be in meetings that I was helping to run, and then another meeting that was very important to me. So I knew my plan of action. So the third client scheduled, but did not know we were getting snow, and then basically said to me, the only question, is it the same price as the last storm? Well, the last storm was 14 inches, and I answered honestly. I adjusted our clients by about $25. And they knew this at the beginning of the season. I said, our prices, just so you know, will never waver more than about $25 to $45. Our prices are already higher because of our commitment levels, because of how tight we keep the time frame, and how I know these people are working people who want to be out by a certain time. So at the end of the day, everybody got fair pricing, considering that it was distinctively less than 14 inches, but everybody got a beautifully pristine, clean walkway, pathway, driveway. And we started at approximately almost 6 o'clock, and we came home with just enough time to get a little sleep, a shower. I packed lunches, breakfast, and off to work we went the next day. Were we tired? We absolutely were. And I will say someone did reach out to me mid-removal and said, my daughter went out, she was a little girl, went out and actually removed the snow for us. I said, great. And that just knocked one person off. But again, they're another client that I know that little girl's not going out and helping mommy again. If the snow is high enough, we're not losing them as clients. They love us. And they know that we're the ones who have the machines. I know they don't own a machine. So I had no worries. And it actually was what afforded us to get a little shut-eye before going to work. So there's that. So it was a good storm. It was a good storm. Everybody was pleased. I would say about a quarter of our clients were not home because they were out watching the game somewhere. And I have to tell you, they were so appreciative to pull into a driveway they could pull into. And they were grateful, thankful, all of the above. And we all went home happy, and I got to work the next day, and I did my job the way I wanted to do it. In fact, the mister even gave me a chauffeur ride in Mandingo to work the next day. Quite romantic. And it was great. And the next day, as soon as he picked me up from work, we got a bite to eat. He got me home. He got wrenching. I got to my second side hustle. So at the end of the day, it was great. It was nice to bring in another extra bit of money, and all was good in the world. Woo! Ken's got a surprise for his stream tomorrow. A gift from across the pond. I see a new face in the chat. Tyrannical Covers. Tyrannical Covers, here on the channel, we always ask, where are you from? Do you get snow? Do you wrench? Are you learning? Do you have an interest in it? We'd love to know a little bit more about you. And welcome to the Pate's Performance family. Good morning, neighbor. Get ready, neighbor. There's going to be a little bit more coming the end of this week. I hope you're ready. Good morning, Chris. Gonna go. People are saying hi. Prime for a good time. Chris Small Engines. It's great to have you here. Always a pleasure. Saying hello. Chris, I'm just doing some double time because the mister's doing some double time himself. She is, but is counting the money. We both count the money here, Henry. We both count the money. And I gotta tell you, this week, I love the mister. This week was interesting for my side business. I had a situation in my own side business pop up this week. I am feeling extremely blessed. In my one side business, my LLC, I took one. That's the one that's involved with Young Living. I am another 41 members added for the month of January. That means for the life of this company, that's residual income that'll keep on coming. Every client they bring on, every person that completes and makes orders, that's 41 people added to the business. That is a very successful month for me. And then in my side business with the mediation, it was a very successful week for me, a beautiful week. And I will say I had a little pickle. A friend that needed a little more of my time than expected. And the mister walked me through a little bit of a hard time. A parent that didn't expect this friend needing as much of my time as we thought. And you know what? We worked together. That is probably one of the aspects, besides how much my husband loves me, in this business that we do together. I can always, even though we do opposite business, business is business. And when it comes down to money and people, the world is one place. And that is what I love about the fact that I can bounce things off of him and he can bounce things off of me. And, you know, at the end of the day, we may deal with people and equipment. I deal with parents, people, and children. But at the end of the day, when people are talking about their hard-earned money, it's the same conversation, quite honestly. And he gave some great advice. And at the end of the day, I realized in my business, the clientele that I'm dealing with, they looked at the advice as more of like, oh no, we're fine. But you know what, at the end of the day, hey, I threw it out there. It was an option. I threw a Hail Mary. And moving forward, I know how I'm going to handle it. But I am so appreciative to have the team. I always call my husband's my favorite teammate in the world. So I am grateful to have him. And he's the hardest working teammate. If we were on a football team, he's my quarterback all day long. So it's good to have you. It seems quieter where you are. We've got a lot of questions about the deer. I want to know about your week. Now that we have you for a few minutes, you do some talking.
Did you guys hear that? That was my tractor. It's Straight Pipe Detroit. So Scott Keller, even though it's a freight shaker, you know me, it's got lights, got the American flag. Somebody must have used it and busted one of my lights. I was not a happy person. You guys can tell I take a lot of pride in everything I do at home. I also transverse that to work. You know, my truck should be looking and sounding a certain way. So I just had to fix that before I roll out on the road. I will not go out with a light missing, especially one of those little tidbit lights I like to put on. Going through the comments. So talk about our prices are high. They are high. We spoke about this in the past. They are high, but no matter what, we are reliable. Snow removal is a luxury, and that is something you have to pay for. If you do not want this luxury, then you will go get somebody else. And as you guys seen that we said in the past, a lot of these customers that we have been, you know, stood up by a significantly cheaper person offering the same service as us. So you just have to put a price on yourself and, you know, and go from there. You know, and fortunately, we've been blessed to have the luxury to, if it doesn't snow, it really does not affect us, you know, at all. The last snowstorm we had where we went out overnight, I offered her, you know, let's go to sleep for 2 or 3 hours, and all the jobs that we turned down, let's ramp them up and we could continue throughout most of the day. And she said no, she was done. So that's her call. A lot of companies or individuals don't have the luxury of doing that. So, I mean, take it for, you know, what it is. You guys are going to go out and do, you know, 20 driveways and kill yourselves. And we're going to do less than half of that and make the same amount of money as you. You know, so that's something, you know, to think about. And
to speak on that, honey, the rationale that I give the Mr. All Day Long, it has nothing to do with not being, excuse me. You ladies and gentlemen know that I know, I don't believe in the word motivation. I think motivation is garbage.
Hey, I love motivation. Nope.
No. Motivation's garbage. Hard work and determination, that's what people have to have.
Motivation goes along those fine lines. They're adjectives.
No. Look those words up. There's a big difference. When we talk about doing an overnight removal all into the next day and doing our main career, for me I have to also keep this in mind. And I'm not trying to say one job is more important than the other. I have to also keep in mind keeping myself fresh and getting a little sleep, because I also, in my remediation business, he has witnessed me working with the children that I do. I could not have possibly gone out and done more removal and then hopped on and worked with these children who need me desperately for hours. And I got to tell you, the money for me is there. So I also have to always think about where my bread is buttered over the longest amount of time. That business for me is a heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears. So I look at snow removal as this. I perform the job for our client list, the people that we respect, we appreciate, and they're good to us. We did a A-class job. We came home, and now we have our career and our other businesses that we run, our hobbies, LLCs, whatever we want to call them. But now for me, and I know for you too, with your flipping, I'm going to give 1,000% now to my other businesses as well. I need to know, I got to tell you, this is one of my keys to success. I always have to know where my limits are. I need to know if I just gave 1,000% snow removing to this list of clients that keep wanting us to come back, I need to know that I've got enough in me to give to my other clients as well. That's why they keep coming back. So, never become greedy. That's my favorite thing too. Don't become so greedy that you ruin yourself in your other endeavors also.
And then let me see, going through the chat, what else? Whoops. I'm sorry, I'm playing. All right, so someone says, right, if you don't get your snow removed, it's going to be a harder of a job. We did a driveway that didn't have the snow removed from the last form, and I wish I had it on the chat. We'll bring it up. Mrs. Pate's performance had an oopsie, but it wasn't her fault. And she was actually very upset about it, and we actually charged the customer for it.
We did.
We'll do that next time, because that'll be show and tell. No, that'll be show and tell.
Guys, there's a few things, I know in snow removal things are going to happen. But when this this was my machine is my baby. And you got to, honestly, like Mandingo, our vehicles, I always tell the mister, what are our vehicles? Our vehicles are like our children, right? We take good care of them. Mm-hmm. Whatever they need, we do for them. I feel the same way about our machines. And something happened during one of and you'll see it coming in the video. It was 100%, I'll always own my mistakes. This was because this was a particular house that...
Wait till the next stream. Okay. So
okay.
Rusty Rooster asked, just curious, just curious, bearing snow removal, how does snowblower repairs compare to mowers in your area? So let's go with this thing.
Interesting.
The bigger the machine, the bigger, the money. And that goes with fixing and flipping as far as repairing. I think the most expensive repair bill I have on a snowblower is like $496, give or take a little bit. Okay. You could never get that on your typical lawnmower, push mower. Cannot. I couldn't even imagine, because the most expensive push mower I sold was $500. So spending $496 on it, maybe like $250-ish, maybe, maybe. But just like I said, there's more profit in a snowblower than there is a lawnmower.
See you later, Chris.
Repair-wise, is the same.
Bye, Rusty.
At this point, with us, as far as snowblower repairs, we're basically open 24/7 compared to, regular facilities that are open just a certain amount of time. If I have machines, I will work on them. The only issue is with me, storage becomes an issue. So I can get all the snow blowers I want and I have to just wait on parts. So, it is what it is. And then I also have a wait list of about like 5 people who want to buy a snow blower. So it's really hard for me to balance and try and find the time to do both. Because like I said before, when someone wants to hand you money, you have to take it. So I am trying to gobble up as much as I can, because the profit in a snowblower is significantly different, than a lawnmower. Think about, sometimes you have to sell maybe 2 to 3 lawnmowers to make up a profit of just one snowblower. Depending, there's many variables, of that. So,
and let's be honest, during this, what we call the spring sprint, which before it will be coming up to, the mister might actually sell 3 or 4 lawnmowers, when things are hopping, if he has them in inventory.
This is good.
In one day. So that could equal a snowblower, but he's got to have it in his inventory. There's videos where you'll see all of Mandingo completely filled with mowers. And so, those are the scores that we hope for. But I got to tell you, in spring sprint, they're flying. And he's also flying. So it's hard. It's hard to say. Scott Keller says, I have never broke a shear pin. Scott, I got to be honest with you. With my Ariens 1128, I really wasn't popping shear pins when we had the storm 3 years ago. It was more happening in his machine. And this storm, not the last one, the big one we had 14 inches 2 weeks ago, I was the one popping them. That's why I've been doing a lot of homework on the computer, because anything that happens with my Ariens 1128 bothers me. And I've been reading up a lot about shear pins and specifically the 1128. And Scott, I know you're a guy who likes the facts. Read up on it, because
how you doing?
Apparently the shear pins in the 1128.
No, your name.
You're going to stick to the actual Ariens brand. They say that's the one to stick to. And I had a fantastic conversation. He wasn't the owner. He was just a worker. I was in there talking to him about pulleys for the Hemi swap. And at one of our village small engine parts stores. And we had a long conversation about the 1128 and shear pins. And he gave me two. Because that's all he literally had left. And he said to me, I'm telling you right now, he goes, he's been doing this for over 20-something years. He goes, ma'am, he goes, I'm telling you, you will never go back on this particular model to using the ones, the off-make. The ones we get like 50 of for like $3, $5, whatever, the ones from China. So I do have the Ariens make shear pins now for my 1128. I am so curious. Ken, you'll appreciate this, and I wish Maddie was here. There was even in one of, I literally, when you get lost in the tunnel of Google, there was one article I was reading about the shear pins, and they compared it to a conversation of when you guys talk OEM parts with the chainsaws, how it's like nothing but OEM, right? And they talked about how you would never use anything else. Well, with the 1128, they talked about how you should stick to the Ariens make shear pins. I don't know. So, you know what? I get what the mister is saying. They're like $4.99 a piece. I get it. But at the end of the day, there were loads and loads of people on these forums saying, trust me, you're not going to be popping them like you do the ones from China on the 1128. So I have two. Of course, we barely got snow on this last one. And I think my machine's going to be like a kid. Now that I wanted to pop a shear pin so I could try my Arien ones. No, it's not going to do it. But Thomas Andrews, you are awesome. Thomas, I wanted to say something to you. Thomas, I do have some. I have some of the Ariens brand ones. I got to tell you, I've come to learn two things in this business, this hobby, small engines. It's just like at the schools. Be friends with your secretaries, be friends with your custodians. In this business, make friends with the guys at your auto parts store and become really good friends at a dealer, but the right small engines dealer. And during this last storm, we switched up. We were going to a big name auto store, and we switched it up to a small guy who's got everything. Let me tell you, I was there 6 times for belts. They were literally skipping over lines of customers, and they went to me, come on in. People were looking at me like, who the HE double hockey sticks is me? People are holding, engine parts. They're bringing back disc plates, and they're like, who the heck? It must be their wife. It was great. But make friends with these people. And then I knew of this little small power engine shop, this distill dealer. And I said, you know what? I've never stopped in there. And I went in. It was right around the corner from this auto shop. And I just happened to land, you know, the guy who's worked there forever that the owner trusts. Well, we had the nicest conversation. He respects what we do, because usually those small engine places don't always respect the flippers out there. You know what I'm saying? They want to get the snow removal guys in and out, you know. This guy and I had a great conversation. And we were talking pulleys for the Hemi swap. We were talking the shear pins for the 1128. And, you know, we made a nice connection. Thomas Andrews, you bring up, I'm glad you popped in here, because I also want to say to you, I'm proud of you. I am so proud of you for getting out there on this last storm and doing snow removal. And I also want to say that that's what I'm talking about. Getting out there and finding your skills, getting out there, making some extra money. Remember I told you on the last live about my coworker and her husband who got to make some extra money on the 14-inch storm? They didn't make as much on this last one because not as many people wanted, you know, snow removal. They made about $300-400. So between the last one and this one, $1,200. $1,200 they didn't have. And, you know, I don't go advertising that we have this channel. You know, people find you, though. A friend I grew up with, she happened to stumble upon, well, her husband stumbled upon, because he knew me from her Instagram. Get this. They're not doing small engine. They're not doing snow removal, but they've been talking to each other. They've just been both working their 9 to 5. They've got 4 kids. 4. And you know what? They're not in massive amounts of credit. I don't want to put their stuff out there. I know for sure they're listening. They're not in like crazy credit card debt, but they've got stuff they want to do to their house. They're working their 9 to 5. The 9 to 5 is not doing it all. They don't, you know, they have like one little machine to do their snow removal. You know, is it something they're thinking about doing? Like, yeah, like, you know, one of their in-laws or parents could come over, watch the kids while they do some snow removal. It's something they're thinking about. But she actually is going to actually pick up and start doing my Young Living business with me. And he actually just picked up, he's going to start doing like Instacart stuff on the side. You can make your own hours, couple hours a week. And you know what? When someone that we grew up with heard that he was going to do that, started like, Instacart. Don't you have a 9 to 5? You're like an engineer. You know what? But they need extra money right now. And at the end of the day, you know what I'm going to say to you? There's going to be people in your life who you know who your friends are, and you know who your long-term friends are. And you know what? Your friends are the people who will sit there and be like, "Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're going to do this to make some extra money. Oh, I wouldn't be caught doing that. I like to come home, crack open a beer, relax, this and that." Or their wives who, "Oh, I'm so tired. I got the kids after work. Oh no, I would never have my in-laws watch my kids. I don't want to do anything else." You know who your long-term friends are? And this is our biggest problem, guys and gals. We all need people in our lives who speak some truth to us. We need the friends in our lives who don't just tell us everything sugar-coated. We need people in our lives who like preach to us a little bit. Like, "Hey guys, you work a 9 to 5, but you're telling me you got credit card debt." Or, "Hey guys, you keep telling me that like times are hard. I know you want to do stuff to your house, but you only work a 9 to 5. Or, "Hey guys, don't you owe Billy money still? How come you or your wife's not doing some extra work?" You know, like we need the people in our lives who are going to tell us the truth. And that's the problem. And you know what my girlfriend and her husband said? "We love you and your husband's channel because you don't just sugarcoat life to people. You tell people you've got to find something in life besides the 9 to 5. Now, here's the thing. If you like just your 9 to 5 And listen, your house is paid off. You worked your whole life. You're retired. You don't listen. You're not borrowing money from a friend. You don't owe anybody money. Your kids. You want your kids to go to school. You don't need anything for your children. You don't need anything done to your house. Your groceries are paid for. If you don't need nothing, then you know what? Come home and Netflix and chill. By all means. You know what, Pookie Pie? Come home and have a cup of coffee. Put your feet up. Let the kids play. And you know what? Fine. Live that life. But if you owe someone money, if you have credit card debt, if you're sitting there and you're complaining, oh, I need new windows in my house. I need this done.
So anyway, going through the chat, congratulations.
Hold on, please. But at the end of the day, there's options out there.
About your truck. I know you had a check engine light and I told you what to do. I'm glad you got it sorted out. Like I said, that check engine light is key. You do not want to load up the parts cannon, without that check engine light. That will give you some sort of idea of where to go at. David Kernet asks, where do you source your parts? I source my parts from absolutely the cheapest place possible, because the bottom line is always important to me within a certain extent. On snowblowers, you have two choices in belts. You can get regular OEM belts or you can get Kevlar belts. Now, in some situations, Kevlar belts are a little bit less cheaper, and in another situation, they're a little bit more. I will always put Kevlar belts if they are offered. When I do a flip and fix, I will definitely highlight Kevlar belts. Okay. And then also when I'm doing a repair, I don't even give them the option of one or the other. It's Kevlar or nothing. That's just me. A lot of my parts come from eBay. But then there are certain companies like Pro Parts Direct. All right. They are phenomenal with RedMax parts. You cannot beat another vendor for our RedMax blowers for what we do with them than ProPartsDirect.com. Change my mind. They're an absolute awesome company to deal with. They've done right by us a few times, and we are definitely, customers of theirs for life. Even if they charge a little bit more, there's been a few times where I've messed up, and there's been a few times where they've messed up, and they've always put their best foot forward and always did the right thing. And to me, that's invaluable, especially at the volume that we do. Mm-hmm. And then somebody also wrote that they don't know one end from an engine to the other. You know what? We all started that way. Okay. I am self-taught. There was no school that I went to. And I believe that, our channel, when she rants and when she goes on her rambles about financials and making money and all that stuff, what you should take from us is that, the American dream is alive and well, that you could start with nothing and turn it into something. And that starts with, you. And if you don't want to do that, by all means, God bless. If you just want to fix a snowblower for yourself, that's fine. We say it over again. Take that money that you saved and maybe just improve something in your life that you wanted to, or set it aside for something else. I can't stress that, more than enough. Then William I wrote, how do you guys find people for snow removal? Okay, so
great question.
We advertised for snow removal the first year. And then after that, we never had to advertise ever again, except when we moved. And then once we moved, we advertised in our area, and then we never advertised ever again. It just becomes established. Word of mouth. People want reliability. The cost, but for every person that doesn't want our services, there's another person out there that does. I cannot stress that, more than enough. Everybody can only do so much. So, that's...
And tell them, honey, so this February 28th, we're in our home 8 years. So he's saying the first year, that was 8 years ago. And now it's just a matter of people being like, we're always known as the couple. The
Yeah.
couple.
Yeah, so like he said, my buddy has a snowplow business here in Cleveland. The first snowstorm, he had 127 missed calls. Absolutely. Now, because we're, three-dimensional when snow falls, we have snow removal, repairs, and we sell, right? Do you think, which I said we're open 24/7, I got to figure out how I want to incorporate this in a video. Phone calls. My snowblower needs to be fixed. It's a quick fix. Come on over. Do you have any for sale? Can you drop it off at any point? I mean, it's insane. It's insane that they wait till beyond, the last minute. And like I said, we're three-dimensional and we could offer that.
Yeah. You could be, it's up to you where you want, it's like everything else. It's up to you where you want to take your life. If you want to be mediocre, offer one service. If you want to take it to the next level, I equate the more you can offer in whatever you do, it's going to equal money, right? You want money? Be multifaceted. That's how I'm going to look at it. Oh, yo, Dr. Olson. Yes, well deserved. Well deserved, Dr. Olson. I worked an extremely hard week. This is actually the first day this entire week that I'm not going from one thing to the next. Actually, one night this week, and when I was presenting for work, I got to go upstairs and I got to see this little one nestled up in the fetal position, just laying in bed as I was cranking away working one night this week. So yes, I am very comfy right now here at home. Bite your tongue, Matthew. Bite your tongue. He usually does.
Let me see. The American way is wait till the last minute to do everything. Absolutely.
Yes.
So I cannot tell you how many discussions, I'm going to use that term very loosely, that I had with people that their snowblower, something happened to it the last storm. And our last storm was what? Oh, there was a week basically, or 10 days. What was the time frame between from one storm to the next?
It was approximately about a week and a day, honey?
So a week and a day, they used their snowblower and it had issues and they failed to neglect it. Then all of a sudden, we have another storm coming, in less than 24 hours of a storm coming. Then they call you and they demand and they want you to fix their machine ASAP. That's not how it works. Obviously, if I can, I will. And when you can and you will, that's almost like an emergency service surcharge. I'm sorry, right? Those other guys, there's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. They're open to a certain amount of time. Why? I have no idea. If I have 150 machines in front of me, I will not go to sleep. I will not go to bed till all 150 of them are diagnosed or repaired. Because that I couldn't sleep at night. I lose sleep over stuff like that.
If you had 100,
so the next day,
give me sugar daddy.
I could start fresh all over again and take in more or push some snowblowers out and they come back in. So it's like they think it's like magic, And I wish I could have took out my camera. I just couldn't. There was just a couple of really good, repairs that people said it was an easy fix, And I say, all right, listen, if it's easy, you do it. Ooh, so it's a little, wishy-washy, see-sorry, back and forth. And then on top of that, I think she heard me last night. A lady messaged me through YouTube. I didn't even know it was a lady. She messaged me through YouTube. She watched all my videos. She took all these notes. And I says, you know what? When you work on your snowblower, let's do a video chat. And she heard me. I think we were on the phone for 73 minutes, right? It was amazing. It was funny. We had a great time. And when she turned on her camera, there's nothing wrong with it. I swear on anything. It was a woman. I was shocked as anything. And I thought that was awesome. And that's what Pate's Performance is all about. This lady has never tackled a snowblower her entire life, but she wanted to. So let's talk about maybe motivation, okay? And like we said before, and I say this all the time, if you're willing to learn, I am willing to help. And she was actually from Pennsylvania. I'll put a screenshot of her up somehow, some way.
So Chris, thank you for the offer, but my two side businesses, one actually requires a degree, and that's why I also almost have a doctorate. I'm actually training a few younger teachers to pick up some of my lower end clientele. And my other business is actually one that you have to buy into, and then I coach a massive team to be a part of. It's like a legacy almost. So no, I am good, and I got to be honest with you. I think we both are the same way. As much as we will get eventually tired, we're adrenaline junkies as long as money's being made. If there's money to be made, like this week, there was one day that I literally got home, had remediation work. Someone reached out to me, can you fit me in? I knew I had like a all-night presentation. I had 1 hour. I said to the mister, dinner's coming. Dinner's on the counter. Can you like squeeze it next to me with a water? And there I was, like side eating, doing remediation. And I was like, I haven't eaten all day. And like, I wasn't about to pass up 1 hour's worth of possibility of making money.
Hey, Chris, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I have to go.
Okay.
I have to.
We're almost about to close out in a few moments.
All right,
Any
so guys,
lasting
once
words?
again, we appreciate you coming by. Next week, we will be together. This is just a very unique situation.
Impromptu.
We've had 3 COVID cases at my job, so we're very limited. And I just had to, I just had to be here. There's no other way about it. Just it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I'm gonna check out. I trust her. She knows what to do and what to say. We're like-minded. So I just want to thank you all, and thank you, Mrs. Pate's Performance, for holding down the fort. I really appreciate it. I love you.
I love you too.
Take care, guys. I'll see you. I'll see you during the week somehow. So maybe we'll figure something out, as always. All right, guys. Later.
Later, honey.